Back at Mount Zion Fieldhouse, Jay Hardin along with Kirk Whiteman. The Railers sophomores down 38-30 to the Mount Zion Braves. Railers sophomores, Greg Alexander had them playing really well late. As of late, they'd won, I think, 5, maybe 6 games in a row, and had closed to within 4. They've been down most of this game and closed to within 4 of this quarter against Mount Zion, and now down 38-30 as they're having to chase the Braves out front. It looks like they're probably going to end up having to foul, and they've got fouls to give right now.
It was, I think, a 1-point game at halftime here, and last few series they've been moving the ball pretty well, just haven't hit some shots, which is kind of mirrored, the varsity team here in some of the games.
You look a whole lot better when you're hitting shots, don't you?
Oh, it takes away a lot of issues.
Tonight in the varsity contest, as there's a timeout here on the floor, tonight on the varsity contest, it'll be Lincoln against the Mount Zion Braves. Coach Dale Schuring, coach of Mount Zion. They've fallen on Kirk a little bit of, hard times lately. They struggled a lot last year. They're struggling again this year, 1-11 overall, 0-11 in the Apollo. Last meeting between these two teams was, of course, on February the 13th. We won 62-40 at home. Landon Hullinger got 27 that game. It's been the 17th meeting between the two schools since the opening game of the Decatur sectional, I believe, in 1981, where we won, and then we had to face Quincy that Friday night, and it was 1 versus 2. We currently lead the series 12-4. Of course, Lincoln right now 14-4 on the season, 8-4 in the Apollo. We've got 5 left to play.
And I think at the end of the day, which is my favorite saying, as they all tell me, schools cycle, right? And I think Lincoln's a little bit different with basketball being in the bubble and the consistency they've had here. They got a new coach. But obviously this game right here, the Zion, I know they got a pretty good prospect down here and some kids moving through the junior high program here. So get a little consistency. And, the football team here has been pretty solid. I think what they get the Final 4, Final 8 there a couple years ago.
I think that's right, yeah.
Things cycle. What did you say the score was of the last game we played?
62-40 was a 22-point game. As Mount Zion knocks one home, goes up 10 with 1:36 to go. Landon got 27 that game. We'd like to see Landon get 27 this game, too.
I like it when he's done hitting on all cylinders.
Tyler Saucy down the lane. Layup time good. 40-32 with 1:23 to go, and Railers are going to be forced to foul here and put them at the line. And Mount Zion breaks the press, and now Saucy will go out and foul. Kirk taking a look at what we've seen so far this year. We're 14-4. Scott and I talked about this on Saturday's pregame show up at Normal West. And I told Coach this. I think this is going to be all of the kids who managed to participate in sports this year or any type of activity at the high school. They're going to be special when we look back at it because they've had to fight so hard through the pandemic to get on the floor. The disruptions at school, for us to be 14-4 right now, and 17 points would have put us undefeated. This has been a pretty good year for this basketball team.
It's been a great year for this basketball team. Only having two guys come back. The juniors getting a lot of opportunity to play, and we've seen little splices of Cook jumping in and giving you kind of a preview of what could come next year as well. So a lot of people are just grateful to be out on the floor the way things started this year, and for us to be in the position where we are, obviously Effingham a really good basketball team and like to have a couple of those back, and they got some really good players, and they had a lot more firepower coming back. So.
And it's, we've played everybody from a 1A school to a 4A school, and we beat number 1 SHG on their home floor. We beat Lanphier on their home floor.
And Lanphier winning the CS8. It'd be interesting to see what they do in their conference tournament down there. So.
And we handled Normal West on Saturday, and there was a team that had some talent. They had a big kid in the middle who's committed tight end to Western Michigan. He was huge, and they like to get up and down the floor. They didn't find any shots that they weren't afraid of shooting, let's put it that way. And then they come home that night and and beat Chatham on our home floor. We've beaten every Central State A school we played this year.
Well, I'd be kind of hard-pressed to see what are we going to end up with, about 23 games this year?
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to find anybody that's going to play any more than that.
Yeah, I think he did a great job of managing this, and the kids, as we've talked about a lot of times, I know when I was in high school, 3-hour grueling practices would much rather be in the game, right? Sometimes that's a little bit easier.
Dylan Singleton, as we look at the statistics for him this year, the Bulldog, the one tough customer, averaging almost 20 points a game, shooting over 50% from the floor, shooting 84% from the free throw line. As we talked about, the whole team shooting 79% from the free throw line, hardly turned the ball over. We've seen some games where the final statistics are maybe they have 1 or 2 turnovers during the whole game. The defense has carried them when they haven't shot well. If you're going to play defense, not turn the ball over, and shoot well from the free throw line, you're going to be in a lot of ball games and probably win a lot of them.
Well, I think as coaches, those are the things we emphasize, and to my kids, I've always emphasized that. I said, number one, make good decisions. You can't turn the ball over. Number two, you got to hit shots, right? And I know even this year, shooting that from the free throw line is spectacular, because I know over the last few years, those kids go in outside of COVID, and they spend all morning shooting free throws, and I don't think they have that opportunity to do that this year. So, and they're not getting to practice either, and that was something that I kind of looked at is I know what Coach does during the summer shootouts and the camps that he has in there, and those kids are getting up, a couple thousand shots a week on the shooting machine and things of that nature, and they haven't had the opportunity to just get those reps in practice.
Sophomore game about to end here at Mount Zion. Mount Zion up 10, 42-32, and Lincoln has, in a term, called off the dogs, if you will, and that's what the final score is going to be here, 42-32. Mount Zion's going to win it. Tell you what, we're going to send it back to the station for a 2-minute timeout and come back with more of the Ground Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball on WLCN FM 96. Kirk Whiteman back. Railers with a record of 14-4, about ready to take on the Braves with a record of 1-11. Kirk, Coach came back this year with 3 seniors on the club, 2 that had started last year. You know from your own experience coaching how important leadership is, especially from your seniors.
Very important, and I think you have Dylan Singleton out here that just leads by example. The kid is tough as nails. He plays hard, and he never comes off the floor. And so at the end of the day, they see how hard he plays. And we talked a little bit earlier about some of the things that, make a successful team, make a successful program. And some of the coaches I talked to, at the college level were like, my plan is to get, the best players I can, but I'll tell you what, nobody's going to outwork us. And I think you see that a lot from the Railers. And, when we kind of fall short, that Mohammed game, what Coach talked about, hey, we need to play a little bit harder. We need to play a little bit tougher. So, I think that was starting to stretch there of about 7 games in 8 days over the course of things. So,
and for the, for the younger kids out there listening and for the parents out there listening, you don't necessarily have to have your best player be a leader on the team. It could be a kid who maybe doesn't play much, but he's out there. And I can think back of when I was in high school, Tracy Jackson, my junior year, was one of the team leaders. He and Brett Farmer were both 2 of the senior leaders of that basketball team. And the reason was that Tracy would get out there and he knew all the drills. He knew where you were supposed to be. He'd make sure you were where you were supposed to be. And there was always a level of encouragement from him.
Vocal leaders, and it can come from, the one that doesn't get a lot of playing time or your top dog. One of my favorite stories, growing up, I kind of followed Steve Kirk when he played at Arizona, and his coach was Lute Olson. And Lute Olson talked about his leadership abilities, and he said, he was one of the best leaders we had that I've ever been associated with. If he told me that color was blue and it was green, I would have believed him. And just, what he did and, the way he communicated on the floor. And that's the other thing, too, is, like you said, being able to communicate out on the floor.
We're coming into the stretch run here. We have 3 kids about to end their basketball careers at Lincoln Community High School. Hopefully everybody else continues their basketball career next year at Lincoln Community High School. Coach has had a little opportunity here the last couple of games, and he talked about it after one of them, to be able to get some other guys into the games to give them some varsity experience and see what they can do.
Ebbs and flows of the games. We get up down the stretch and have an opportunity to throw some of these future Railers out there to see how they're going to react. And as we talked about earlier, too, leadership opportunities for them to see how, some of the older kids that have been playing there, Brody, Elijah, Andrew Grau, stepping up and helping these kids out, too, and bring them along and creating that culture of Lincoln Railer basketball.
We've seen Jaden Klopp improve dramatically over the last few games. He's become more aggressive, willing to go in, willing to get in there and fight for rebounds. He plays defense very hard. Jaden may never be a 20-point-a-game scorer. Who knows? He may break out of that, but we've seen him play very hard. We're also seeing Peyton Cook get in there, and it'd be nice to have 2 guys about that size on the back line next year to play defense back there.
Well, basketball is a game of size at times, and is changed over the years, not as big as they used to be, right, but a little bit more athletic, and I think that Jaden Klopp is starting to get those minutes, and you're seeing a little bit more confidence, and we talk a lot about that as coaches, is not only kids having confidence themselves, but the coaches that have confidence. I remember my college coach said that, I struggled and didn't play a whole lot in the first semester, and started hitting some shots, and he called me in. He's like, hey, we're getting ready to start putting you in some of these games. He's like, at the end of the day, we noticed that your teammates are having confidence in you. They're looking to pass the ball to you. So I think that's something you've seen in Jaden, where he's seen the confidence in the others grow in him. So, he's starting to feel better about himself.
Your son, Brody Whiteman, has stepped up big the last several games, had a big game down at Charleston. Shows the willingness not only to step out and shoot the open shot, but get to the basket as well.
I know that Brody likes it.
Jay Hardin, along with my broadcast partner, Kirk Whiteman, tonight here on the Ground Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic Josh Comnick pregame show. About 6 minutes to go before we go with the Chicago Street Rentals opening possession here at Mount Zion High School. Kirk, we've got some people on this squad. The team was shooting 790 from the free throw line, close to a school record. Could still get it, I guess, with enough made free throws here before the end of the year. We still have 5 games to play tonight, including tonight, but Dylan Singleton approaching the 1,000-point club, and Coach Al approaching second on the all-time Illinois high school win list right now at 878, 3 behind Steve Gores. I don't think we could say enough about what Coach Al has meant to this program and the stamp he's put on this program.
Well, I don't know if we were talking on air or off air about it, but part of the success of programs is consistency. And when Neil took over, it's my understanding that the 1-2-2 was pretty much well in effect back when he took over too, and he came from that same tree line as Lauren Wallace. So they've experienced a lot of consistency here over the years, and not only from that is what you've created in the youth programs. I know coaching my sons and even my daughter, watching her play, it's carried over to the women's side of the game and what they've created here, and creating a system that allows them to compete against kids in basketball where year in, year out, we talked about that, things run in cycles. Lincoln's going to have some down years, obviously, from a talent standpoint, but the system allows them to compete at a high level at the state level every year.
You've talked about the consistency, and not only has Neil had consistency, especially in small communities, the talent cycles through. We know that. But he's had years where you go, well, this isn't the most talented team he's ever had, but the system is what keeps the team going and keeps the team afloat.
And I think you hit the nail on the head earlier. And what did we talk about? Don't turn the ball over, hit your free throws, and make good decisions, or play hard, whatever it is. Those are 3 staples of the program here.
Railers, Mount Zion's headed off the floor. Railers about to head off the floor themselves. Dylan Singleton stepping up, and we hope that he gets to the 1,000-point club, the 1,000-point mark. He has really stepped up this year, stepped his game up, stepped his scoring up. And I think the amazing thing to me is when we look at other guys in this program for the last 30 years, and people talk about, the Lincoln kids all shoot the 3, and that's all stand out at the 3-point line, shoot the 3. Dylan Singleton not getting his points via the 3 points. He's getting it at the in the mid-range jumper at the free throw line.
No, and that comes from what Neil's created here. As far as his system, the offensive sets, and some of the things they've designed. Can Dylan hit threes? Yeah, he certainly can, but he plays. His best game is when he's 1-2 dribble, pull up, get into the basket, and can score in a lot of different ways, off a steal. And he's banged some threes this year. My favorite, thought of Dylan is in playing in the Lincoln system is we went down to Chatham there last year, and they put him in a situation where they dared him to shoot, and he took the first 2 threes and didn't make any, and so he didn't shoot another 3 after the game. But boy, he really helped us out there down the stretch, getting to the basket, and then we turn around the next game, he comes out and bangs 3 or 4 threes in the next game. So he can shoot a little bit, but he just makes good decisions. Play to your game, play to your strengths.
Mount Zion back on the floor, Lincoln down in the locker room. That's going to wrap it up for us here on the pregame show. After a word from our sponsors, Kirk and I are going to be back here at Mount Zion, bring you the play-by-play action as Lincoln takes on the Braves from Mount Zion. As always, a big thank you goes out to all of our sponsors. This has been the Josh Comnick Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic Center pregame show. You're listening to Lincoln Raider basketball on 96.3 FM.
Now, would you please honor our veteran and men and women who protect our freedom by standing, removing your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
National anthem ends here at Mount Zion High School. Both teams in front of their respective benches, just about ready to go with the Chicago Street Rentals opening possession here at Mount Zion, joined by my broadcast partner, Kirk Whiteman. I see you're wearing a golf shirt today. You know what? I thought about putting on shorts and a golf shirt, but I was afraid, as nice as it was, I might not make it here. I might just stop with my clubs somewhere and find a course to play on.
Might get the itch. I got a couple buddies that have been talking to her last weeks, and they got golf trips lined up, and one was even on the course today. He knows who he is. He's probably listening right now.
Railers on the floor. You know the starting lineup for Lincoln. Dylan Singleton, Landon Hollinger. Dylan wears number 3, Landon number 4, number 12, Adam Grunder, number 20, Brody Whiteman, number 24, Elijah Pullis. For Dale Schuring's Mount Zion Braves, it'll be number 23, Sean High, number 22, Ethan Hamrick, number 4, Matthias Adams, number 10, Dylan Roberts, and number 14, Reed McNeil. They're still over in front of their coach. Neil's got our kids ready to go. I guess it's okay to say our kids. We are the Lincoln radio station, sports voice of Lincoln and Logan County and Central Illinois. And the Chicago Street Rentals opening possession, and the Railers inbounds the ball.
Mount Zion setting up. Oh, looked like a zone, but man-to-man.
Lob pass to Singleton. Defense was there. Kicks it back out. Hollinger to Grunder. Out front, Hollinger. Left wing, Grunder. Out front, Whiteman. Railers running 5-out offense. Whiteman, Hollinger, Grunder. Grunder, Hollinger. Now to Singleton.
Really closing down driving lanes here, reminiscent of how Muhammad plays defense and the pack line defense here, and not really many penetration into the defense here. Singleton, Grunder, Hollinger. In the corner, Whiteman. Whiteman looking to drive, a little bit of a spin move. Gets in the lane. Thought he was going to go up with that hook shot. Kicks it back out, Grunder to Singleton. 7:08 to go here in the first quarter. Grunder, corner, Polis. Out front, Hollinger. Hollinger, Whiteman. Railers being very patient on offense right now. Cross court, Singleton thought about the 3. Kicks it, and ball knocked away. Here comes Mount Zion on the run. 22, and blocked by Hollinger. Shot by Hamrick was blocked by Hollinger. Good defense by Landon. Well, Landon does a great job of going straight up, and we call it walling up, and does a great job of that.
Singleton out front between the circles. Left wing, Grunder. Hollinger drives baseline. Cross court, Whiteman. Whiteman loads her up. No good. Off the iron. Ball nearly rebounded by Grunder, and it'll come out of there with Roberts from Mount Zion.
Yeah, they came out with a lot of intensity here defensively, and really kind of narrowed and jumping to the ball and narrowing these driving lanes. We can't really get to the basket or get any inside penetration.
Hamrick kicks it to Roberts. Cross court to High. Grunder hounding him. Out front to McNeil. Looking inside to Matthias Adams, and the ball stolen away by Lincoln. Out front, Singleton. Hollinger, the long three, top of the key. Got it. That's a Chris Coyne State Farm three for Landon Hollinger. Lincoln up 3-0. 5:55 to go. Mount Zion still in the backcourt. McNeil quickly across the line to Roberts and stolen away by Lincoln. Here comes Singleton. Layup time, up and no good. Rebound, battle for, and Mount Zion comes out of there with it. Unusual to see Dillon miss a bunny like that.
Yeah, tough one. He was, a little contested there.
Down the lane, Hamrick, and up, no good, and Matthias Adams will get the bucket.
Nice drop there on the penetration.
Matthias Adams, 6'2 junior. Singleton tries the drive, and he's going to be fouled by number 10, and that is Dylan Roberts. First foul on Roberts, first team foul on Mount Zion. Polis inbounds the basketball under the Lincoln basket. Into Whiteman, 10-footer, up, no good, over the basket. Rebound, Polis. Polis fights with Adams, and on the alternating possession, it will go to Mount Zion. Brody got a good look at that one. 3-2 the Lincoln lead, 5:10 to go here in quarter number one. Sean High goes in the corner to McNeil. McNeil back out front to High. High looking inside. At the free throw line is Hamrick. Hamrick, ball stolen away again by Lincoln. Singleton on the run. Layup time coming up and good.
That one's good there. Dylan did a nice job of getting to the basket.
5-2 the Lincoln lead. Mount Zion quickly the other way against the 1-2-2. Sean High runs the point for Mount Zion. Hamrick in front of the Lincoln bench. Out to Roberts. Roberts throws the ball away. I think he was expecting Matthias Adams to pop out there, and he didn't.
Right, and we talked earlier. Mount Zion, it's only a 3-point game, but they've got about 4 turnovers already and 1 block shot. So about 50% from the floor, and unlike us.
We are at the mask media timeout. We're going to keep it right here. You were right about their defense, the way it's set up. It was kind of that pack line defense. And sometimes that, if you don't, just like me, if you don't see it a lot, it sometimes can be a little confusing because it looks like a man-to-man, but it also sometimes looks like a zone.
It does, and what you've seen happen with basketball over the last 10, 20 years and kind of starting the NBA, it's kind of downsized a little bit. You got guys that just like to get to the basket, and when you get in the basket, you start sucking in, and now you got the three-point line. And so what happens is defensively, to counteract that, you're like, hey, we need to stop dribble penetration. And so what they teach is they don't even teach help and recover anymore back in the day where we used to. So if I'm guarding a shooter, the ball comes at you, you got to go help and then recover. Nowadays, what we teach is you're always in help position. So the shell drill that they teach defensively is you're always up the line and off the line, protecting those driving lanes. Keep that ball in front of you. Don't let it get by you, because when it does, a lot of kids can shoot the three this day. Case in point here with Landon and Brody down at Charleston when they decided not to guard him. And so that's going to be something where Lincoln's done a great job too, as you watch him move the ball side to side to kind of get these guys off. But they came out here. I think if they just keep on doing this, we'll wear them down a little bit and obviously create some turnovers here defensively.
Polis inbounds to Singleton, 4:27 to go on the clock. Grunder looking for the back cut. Whiteman, Hollinger left wing. There's Polis on the drive. Out front to Grunder. Whiteman, Singleton. Lincoln running a 5-out offense right now. Nobody posting up. Whiteman, Grunder, Polis. Out front, Singleton. Hollinger. Grunder. Singleton. Polis to Grunder. Hollinger. Hollinger back out front, Singleton. Hollinger the back cut. Wasn't there. Whiteman, Singleton. Singleton looks to drive, and now he'll bring it back out front. Whiteman looking for the cutter. Hollinger out of the corner. He loves that spot. No good. Rebound to Mount Zion. Quickly up the floor. Here comes Hamrick down the lane. And I think Brody may get called for the foul.
Yeah. Put his hand in the cookie jar there as he was going by. I think you'll see Neal come out with a couple sets here and try to open it up. And We hit a couple threes here. I know Landon's hit one, but try to hit a few more and get these people extended a little bit defensively.
Hamrick out front goes to Sean High. He and Hamrick work the ball out front against the 1-2-2. Now left wing to Dylan Roberts. Adams, Sean High, they go inside to McNeil. McNeil guarded by Whiteman, and I think threw the ball away. Yep. Good defense by Lincoln. Adams couldn't handle the pass. It'll be Lincoln basketball right in front of the Lincoln bench. 3:11 to go here in the first quarter. Low scoring first quarter. Lincoln up 5-2. Singleton walks the ball across the. Now to Whiteman. Whiteman looking for the cutter. To Singleton. Polis. Out front Landon Hullinger. Singleton. Cross court Whiteman. Corner Hullinger back to Whiteman. Polis. Singleton. Railers work the ball around the perimeter. Whiteman behind the back dribble. Going to go down the lane. Layup time. No good. Rebound to Mount Zion. Quickly ahead to Roberts. Roberts layup time. Got it. Beat the defense back. It's 5-4, the Lincoln lead. Now to Hullinger at the free throw line. Elbow. Back out front. Hullinger from Polis to Singleton. Singleton Grunder. Hullinger to Grunder. Grunder the long three. Up and good. A Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer for Adam Grunder. It's 8-4, the Lincoln lead.
And we got three different people on the scoreboard for the Railers right now. Hopefully this opens some things up.
And the ball nearly thrown away. Oh, and I think High stepped on the sideline. He did.
I need to get my eyes fixed. I don't think I can see that far.
That's a pretty good call from up here, wasn't it?
It certainly was. We got the bird's eye view up here in the corner.
1:59 to go in the quarter. Lincoln up 8-4. Three guys in Lincoln's scorebook. Hullinger, Singleton, and Grunder. As Lincoln works their offense out front, Brody Whiteman stationed on the baseline. Now he'll pop out. And here comes Brody. Brody to Singleton. Singleton looking for the drive to Whiteman. Whiteman drives baseline. Good kick, and it was knocked out of bounds by Mount Zion. Had Polis open in the corner.
I mean, they're doing a great job out front of closing these lanes down, but if we can get a couple ball reversals here and get some baseline penetration like Brody tried to do there, kick to the opposite, or I can see Landon or even Dylan getting to the basket and getting some baseline drives here because their help defense hasn't been really good.
Polis. Down into Whiteman. Whiteman, that little hook in the lane, up and good. Brody Whiteman gets his little jump hook in the lane. It's 10-4. Now we got four people in the scorebook. 1:22 to go. They're still in the backcourt. Into the game, John Bauman for Mount Zion, and threw the ball away. Whiteman with the basketball ahead to Singleton. Railers on the run with 1:10 to go. Brody Whiteman stepped up, looked like he was going to shoot it, kicks it to Singleton. Singleton kicks to Polis. Hollinger going to take it down the lane. Landon had it stripped. That was a good drive by Landon. Had the ball stripped as he got down the lane.
Yeah, we got some open lanes there, and thought Elijah had a chance to shoot a three here, just wasn't ready. I'd like to see some of those three-point shooters. Would have been nice to get all five guys on the scoreboard here in the first quarter.
Jaden Klopp in the basketball game. Brody Whiteman going to take a seat. Lob to Hullinger, up and good. Excellent play. Lob to Hullinger, and we're up 12-4. 55 seconds to go. Clock in the red first quarter. Lincoln up 8. Mount Zion still in the backcourt. Now gets it across the half-court line. Number 24 in the basketball game for them is Quinn Gilman, a 6'2 senior. So Mount Zion substituting for me. Bowman on the baseline, or Bowman on the baseline. Going to knock in the three. Aiden DiTomaso nails the three. He's in the scorebook. And it's 12-7, the Lincoln lead. 25 seconds to go. Now 24. It looks like we're going to hold for one. Polis basketball on the left wing. Referee counts. He gets it to Grunder. Grunder, Singleton. Pop out Grunder. Grunder to Klopp. Klopp looks inside Hullinger. Ball knocked away. Grunder recovers. 4 seconds on the clock. 3, Hullinger corner. Shot out of the corner. He's knocked down before the gun went off, I think. Let's see. Let's see if they call that before the buzzer went off. I think they do. And Landon Hullinger is going to go to the line and shoot 3 free throws.
Well, my hearing's not going yet, and based on that ball flight and the buzzer going off, it certainly looked like he got fouled before the buzzer. Fouls on number 24.
Okay. Foul on Quinn Gilman, his first, team second. They haven't updated the scoreboard yet.
I thought Landon did a great job of getting that shot off and had some arch on it. I thought it had a chance to go in. Did he make the first one?
Yes, he did. Hollinger has made 2 of the 3 free throws. Third one up and good. So at the end of one quarter, it's Lincoln 15, Mount Zion 7. Let's send it back to the station for a quick timeout.
To score.
Klopp looks inside. Singleton posting. Klopp had it knocked away by Sean High. Singleton had his man on his hip. Into the game, Jack Driscoll, a junior for Mount Zion. So they're getting some kids in the basketball game off of their bench, substituting freely. High out front. Goes to Quinn Gilman. Gilman, Driscoll. Corner High. High back out front. DiTomaso, long 3 on the way by Driscoll, no good, rebound Singleton.
And what we've seen here offensively the last few possessions, because we haven't been able to get any penetration, they've started posting up some of our players.
Singleton.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
With Brody and then Landon, and then they just tried posting up Dylan a few minutes ago, but you'll see what's happened now is it's starting to kind of create a little bit more driving lanes here. Dylan able to get to the basket there and draw a foul now at the free throw line.
Second foul on Quinn Gilman, team's third. And one tough customer wearing number 3 heads to the free throw line, nails the first free throw, 16-7 the Lincoln score. Ethan Hamrick back in the basketball game for Mount Zion. Matthias Adams back in the basketball game for Mount Zion. Second one by the Bulldog, up and good, 17-7 as he inches closer toward that 1,000-point mark, 62 points shy of it coming into this evening. Hamrick to basketball across the High. Back out front, Hamrick. Lincoln guards extending that pressure just a little bit more. Inside Hamrick. Hamrick at the free throw line in the lane. Kicks it to Adams. Adams a spin move in the lane. Up and good. Nice move by Matthias Adams. Give him a deuce. And it's 17-9 the Lincoln lead. Andrew Grau into the basketball game for the Railsplitters. Singleton drives, and he's going to draw the foul on number 12, Aiden DiTomaso. That is his first, the team's fourth. Inbounds to Klopp. Klopp out front, Singleton. Singleton going to take the drive. Kicks it to Hollinger. Baseline 3. Up and no good. Back of the iron. Rebound to Driscoll. Driscoll is stolen by Singleton. Ball recovered by Mount Zion. Hamrick's got it at the half-court line to DiTomaso. Hamrick. Corner High. High goes inside Adams. Adams against Hollinger. Kicks it out Driscoll. In the corner to DiTomaso. 3 on the way. In and out. Rebounds. Singleton skies for the rebound. Kicks it out to Klopp. Back to Singleton. And Singleton on the run. Singleton in a hurry. Goes corner Grau. 3 on the way. No.
Good shot by Andrew. Way to be ready.
DiTomaso up the floor quickly. Here comes Sean High. High to Hamrick. Hamrick trapped in the corner, throws the ball away, and Coach Al nearly caught that one. 5:47 to go here in quarter number 2. Lincoln up 17-9. Kirk, we've missed a few shots here, but I kind of like this pace. I think we're playing a little bit up-tempo pace, and I think we play a little bit better that way.
And this will help us against Mount Zion right now, and we haven't been shooting the ball well, but get things rolling a little bit.
Singleton had the ball screen from Hullinger. He's going to take it in the lane, take a 10-footer up and good. Dylan Singleton, that's his spot. 10-footer middle of the lane, give him 6, and it's 19-9 the Lincoln lead. And Dale Schuring's going to take a timeout here. Let's see if it's going to be a full timeout or a 30.
And that was the bulldog mentality right there. He took a couple hits going up the basket, but got his balance, was able to lay it in.
Looks like it's going to be a 30. We'll keep it right here. Coach, we've talked about this. Wherever he goes to school, he's going to make some college a fine point guard.
Right, and, you know, as a college coach and college recruiter, one of the things we looked at is toughness. You know, he certainly checks that box, doesn't he? And, you know, so many coaches I talk to is, you know, when they get these kids and playing all the AAU ball, 3 games in one day, 5 games over the weekend, they learn how to coast, and that's certainly something you will never get with Dylan. He'll play really hard all the time.
No, and the thing is he is very fundamentally sound. He doesn't turn the ball over a great deal. He's a good passer, a good ball. He's a reliable ball handler. Shoots free throws really well. He's going to make somebody a fine point guard.
Consistency, again, comes up.
Oh, and the defense. We can't forget about the defense. He tends to get his hand on just about everything. Mount Zion in the backcourt against the Railer 1-2-2. The cross-court pass, and Jaden Klopp right there. Good defense by Jaden Klopp. Brody went for the basketball, couldn't quite get it. It's going to go back out of bounds to Mount Zion. We like steals, but we also like those deflections in the 1-2-2, don't we?
Oh, we get quite a few of those.
Sean Hyde inbounds the basketball. Hamrick in the backcourt. Hamrick against Singleton. Singleton takes him left side, back out front. Driscoll nearly threw the ball away there. High almost stepped on the sideline again, making his move. Driscoll was going to take the 3 into Hamrick in the middle of the lane against Klopp. Klopp with the block with the left hand. Good block by Jaden Klopp, and it'll go to Hullinger.
Great effort again by Jaden, you know, showing us why he's earning these more minutes right now.
Singleton, left wing to Whiteman, to Klopp. Klopp looking inside to Singleton. Singleton got him on his hip, up and good.
And there was that post up we talked about earlier. It's about the 5th time they ran that play, and you know.
And the Bulldog steals it and tried to knock it off of Sean High. High will come up quickly to Hamrick. In the corner to Driscoll. Driscoll back out front to Hamrick. So Dylan got his hands on it, couldn't quite corral it. Mount Zion keeps the basketball. Roberts out front. Hamrick trying to run a pick on Andrew Grau. Ball out front. Roberts the left-hander, the long 3, good. That's 21-12.
Looks like after that shot went out, must have been a Mount Zion player touched the ball after it went through. So,
well, that'll lead us into the media or mass timeout here at the 4:09 mark of quarter number 2. Let's go ahead and keep it right here. Coach, Dylan and Landon leading us in scoring, but we've got other people in the scorebook here in the first half of this basketball game. And what we've seen, Andrew Grau tried a 3. We've got guys willing to step up and try some shots.
We have, and what did we say? We had 4 different guys score there in the first quarter for us, and Landon closed out with the 3 threes. And you know, right now they're getting Dylan going here a little bit in the low post and posting his guys up. But when that starts happening, as I told you earlier, you know, you play that pack line, when you only got 1 or 2 guys scoring for you, it's like, hey, just keep this guy. My guy's not going to score. When your guys start scoring, it's like, uh-oh, you know, I got to guard him a little bit harder. So you start, you know, creeping and staying closer to him, which creates those driving lines for Dylan and Brody to get to the basket.
Well, I've noticed Coach 2 has gone to some different sets, you know, a different set here rather than just having the 4-out or 5-out weave out front. We're going to almost a planned set where he's posting Dylan, and I don't think Dylan's not going to be able, or the guy guarding Dylan's not going to be able to take him down the low post.
Well, isn't that just such a luxury to have somebody like Dylan? You know, when we go to the zone, you're able to put him in. And I remember in our days, we had a 6'1" kid, left-handed, and he was just so good, just like Dylan, by getting by people. And, you know, at the college level, they're 6'7", 6'8", and we get the ball to him there on the baseline like they did Dylan, or in the middle of that zone, and he's left-handed, he's going left. He'd still go left, he'd still beat you. You know, really reminiscent of that kid who played at Northern Illinois for us and was a great player. I mean, Dylan's just as tough as that kid was.
And when you watch him in the post, he spreads himself out. He's ready to do something with the basketball when he gets it. You can tell that. Grau goes to Hullinger. Hullinger looking inside Singleton. Back to Grau. Whiteman. Singleton. Now Railers run the weave out front. Klopp in the corner. Klopp, Singleton. Singleton going to drive it in the lane. Oh, great pass to Whiteman. Whiteman back to Singleton. Singleton, Hullinger, the three on the way. No good. Ball off the side of the rim, and it'll go to Mount Zion.
Those guys, those are a couple no-look passes there. Kind of, I didn't know what was going on. Kind of like watching the Army option football there. Where's the ball?
And Mount Zion throws the ball away. Into the game for Mount Zion, Carson Cuddy, a 6'6 sophomore. Andrew Grau takes a seat on the bench. Elijah Polis back in the basketball game for Lincoln.
It looks like Coach Al's going with more surgical sets here. Call him Dr. Alexander, opening that medical bag with all the surgical tools he has to kind of split this defense apart.
Singleton, Polis, Hullinger. Hullinger almost lost the ball. Pass behind him just a little bit. Right side Klopp. Klopp to Polis. Polis, Hullinger. Back to Polis. Singleton. And now Singleton will bring it back out, reset the offense that he wants. Oh, Singleton, great backdoor cut by Hullinger, and the layup and one, and a great pass by Singleton.
Great misdirection play there. We've seen it hundreds of times. It really hasn't worked a whole heck of a lot this year, but we were able to catch Mount Zion, and Coach got into a kind of a set, and then we went into motion, and then they went into it instead of just coming down the floor and trying to get in the back door. And so Landon nails the and one there.
24-12, the Lincoln lead. Double the score, Hullinger 11. And the ball knocked away at half court. Here comes Dillon against the 6'6 Cuddy. Lays it up. Oh, that one almost went in. Dillon with the strength of that left hand put it up there. That'll be the first foul on Carson Cuddy, the 16th foul on Mount Zion here.
And, we talked about how Dillon likes to get to the basket. And, earlier in the year, especially down there at Effingham where he's moving the ball left and right, that was a lot different from earlier in the year. You saw him take the contact, bring the ball back, and then pick a point to go to it. And if he continues to do that, that's one of the things he needs to work on at the next level is, take that contact and pick a point and go through. Great job by Dillon.
Unusual. Dillon missed the first free throw, knocks the second one down. He's got 9 on the evening. And it's 25-12, the Lincoln lead. Hamrick across the timeline very quickly. Kicks it back out Adams. He might have walked with the basketball, got away with it, lost it, and Hullinger comes up with it. 2:28 to go here in quarter number 2. Singleton goes down the lane, takes the contact, layup time. Oh, in and out. Rebound, Singleton clopped, and the Mount Zion player fight for it. Jump ball, and it's going to go over to the Braves.
Yeah, I thought he'd get that in there. I think he was expecting a little bit more contact, put that ball off the board a little bit harder than he wanted to. Well, actually, he wanted to do it. He thought he was going to get hit a little bit harder than that.
Mount Zion, length of the floor to go against the Lincoln Press. 2:20 to go here in the first half. From Mount Zion, just southeast of Decatur. Hullinger with a great steal. Here comes Landon. Is he going to slam it home? No. And they're going to call a foul before he got to the basket.
Oh, he's getting ready to get that 2 points on the board there in the stat sheet.
I thought, no continuation. Thought he might have got that, but nope. Foul goes against Sean Hyde. That's his first. But Landon's going to go to the line with a couple of freebies here. We are in the bonus. 6'5 senior, first one up and rattles it home. Give Landon 11 on the evening, 26-12, the Lincoln lead. Hullinger's second one up and good. Gets them both. 13 for Landon. And Lincoln now up 27-12 with 2:09 to go. In the corner quickly, McNeil back out front to Sean High. DiTomaso out front. Goes corner John Bauman. Bauman, McNeil. Matthias Adams now out front. In the corner to Sean High. High looking. Goes out front. Let's call him Bowman. B-A-U-M-A-N-N. And Hullinger nearly had to steal.
I kind of thought that went off his leg too. But as I said, my eyesight's a little bit poor. So good hustle by Landon.
I like it when Landon goes for the steals. He doesn't get them. He's mad at himself because he didn't get the basketball. Out front, DiTomaso goes Adams, and Bowman kicked out of bounds by Hollinger. Again, good defense by Lincoln. 27-12 the score.
We've held them to 5 points here in the second quarter.
High, the long three off the right wing, no good. Hit the back of the iron. Klopp grabs the rebound.
Well, we call that rebounding outside your area. He came from about the elbow there to secure that rebound, and that's what you want to see.
Whiteman to Singleton. Railers run the weave. Good cut to Hollinger. Hollinger, and let's see what the call is going to be here. They're going to call Matthias Adams? I think so. And Hollinger.
Yeah, Landon went up for the lob play there. I don't know if that was on a set or just great recognition skills by those two seniors. And he was trying to look like he was trying to get out of the way, and kind of an unfortunate foul. But you know what? As a Railer fan, we're going to take those two freebies, or
we're
1+1.
Matthias Adams, his second foul. First one by Hollinger, up and good. So Landon Hollinger knocks down the first free throw. Was holding his arm when he walked out of there. And, of course, we've experienced Landon taking that fall down at Charleston. We don't want to see him fall down again.
Yeah, and he kind of was starting to come down awkward, and the Adams kid was able to kind of hold him up a little bit, because Landon doesn't fall gracefully.
No. Second one by Landon, up and good. Bowman out of the game. Driscoll comes back in for Mount Zion. And Singleton deflected that one out of bounds.
That's I always tell Maddox, my little one, we go out to play a little one-on-one. I said, why don't you go practice falling down a few times before I get out there to get some practice in.
DiTomaso in the backcourt. Cross-court pass to Sean High. High out front to DiTomaso. 1:08 to go. Lincoln up 29-12. Landon Hollinger, 15 in the first half. Great steal by Brody Whiteman. Whiteman going to take it all the way. Layup time. No good. Singleton, the tip in. Good.
There we go. Dylan's lights, eyes lit up there. Brody coming in and contested layup there. So great follow by Dylan.
31-12, the Lincoln lead. And Whiteman the steal again. Here comes Brody. Kicks it to Polis. Polis will kick it back out to Hollinger. 39 seconds on the clock. Whiteman, Singleton almost stolen away. Now some heavy contact between he and DiTomaso. Baseline Whiteman. Whiteman to Klopp. Klopp to Hollinger. Hollinger, Polis. Here comes Singleton. Baseline up, and he lost his footing going up for the shot. Hope he's okay.
They stepped on him going to the basket. They missed that one.
See, your eyes aren't so bad after all, because I didn't see that.
Too bad.
Out front, Sean High.
Well, Dylan has such great balance going to the basket, so you know something had to happen there.
High will go down the lane to Adams. Adams, the reverse layup. Nice move. Good pass.
That was a great pass right there.
And that will end the half with Lincoln up 31-14 over Mount Zion. We're going to send it back to the station for a 2-minute timeout and come back with the Grau Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic halftime show. Jay Hardin, Kirk Whiteman at Mount Zion High School, Mount Zion Fieldhouse, where the Lincoln Railsplitters up 31-14 at halftime. Kirk, we've got 4 guys in the scorebook. Be nice to get Elijah Polis and Jaden Klopp and some others in the scorebook. Dylan Singleton with 11, Landon Hullinger with 15. Defense is playing pretty good tonight. We held them to 7 in the first quarter and 7 in the second quarter.
Right, and, there have been some unforced turnovers, but, we create that with the style of play defensively, and they've had quite a few turnovers here, which has helped us. But, I want to go back to that last play there at the end of half where Dylan scored that layup. I mean, Brody had a fast break, was going to be a little contested. And as coaches, and we go out and recruit, those are some things we look for, what Dylan did there. I call it flow to the ball. Everybody has their own terminology, but you saw Jaden Klopp flow to the ball, right? Take 2 steps in that direction. Dylan was a little bit closer in that situation, but so many times you see kids going in for a layup and, he's going to make the layup, no problem. I don't need to get there. But Dylan, hey, you're always playing. We call it a sense of urgency, and he got there, was able to tip that ball in right at the rim for 2 points. And in the game of basketball, a lot of times, as we saw this year, the game's decided by 1 or 2 points, right?
As a coach, is there such a thing as having, what we always used to call a nose for the ball? That you just have some kids that just seem to, be able to watch something go up and be able to, calculate in their head, hey, I know where this ball's going to be and I know where I'm going to be to get it.
Right, and, as a coach, I've heard coach, he's got a nose for the ball, or you tell a kid, as a coach to a player, you got to have a nose for the ball. Well, these kids, if they haven't been coached, what is it, So I know Jay Billis talked about being a warrior, being a tough player. Well, what is it? It's taking the charge. It's diving on the floor for a loose ball. And having a nose for the ball, for me, is active hands defensively. You see Brody and Dylan do a great job of getting balls tied up. I think Adam Grunder's done a great job watching him play just over the last, 5 to 7 games outside that Muhammad game. But I've seen Adam got a lot more aggressive guarding the ball with his hands, active hands, make the guy uncomfortable, flowing to the ball. The shot goes up or there's a loose ball 20 feet away from you, and there's 2 guys going after it. And you'll see some guys that, they just watch from afar. I'll never get there. But what they don't understand is, they take 2 or 3 steps there, and how many times you've seen 2 guys go for the ball, just like in football, that ball pops up and maybe it pops closer to you. Now you've taken those 5 steps. Now you're only 2 or 3 steps from the ball, and so you can make a play on it. So a nose for the ball is flowing to the ball. You see where the ball's going, just start moving in that general direction. Nose for the ball. I'm going to shoot it. Well, hey, if you're a basketball player, you've taken 1,000 shots, so you know where you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it left, you're going to miss it right, you're going to miss it short, so you take 2 steps in that direction. So many times you see shooters now, they like to watch their form, and step back, and you really need to flow to the ball is what I kind of have saying, nose for the ball, and then just active hands, right?
We watched Dylan Single. Here we are talking about a kid that's 5'11". We've watched him post up underneath the basket. I've been very impressed with a couple of things. One is footwork, and sometimes you'll get guys that'll be in the post that never get the footwork down, that they spread themselves out, get the footwork down. But he's also really good about getting a guy on his hip and then feeling where that guy is at and adjusting himself accordingly to put himself in a position that, hey, you throw me the ball. When you throw me the ball, I'm going to be in a position when I catch it to do something with it.
Well, what sets Dylan apart, number one, is his toughness, his tenacity. He can take some hits and keep going. Like that shot down there, he was getting the basket, he was getting hit. They're not going to call it. And so he put a little bit more mustard on it, expecting that hit. And he'll play through that. And I think that's one thing Dylan did on this one play down here against that 6'6" kid, is he went to the basket, he took the contact, and then held him off, and then was able to shoot over the 6'6" kid with his left hand, which is a great move. And earlier in the year, you'd see Dylan get into the lane, and the Effingham game sticks into my head where, you try to get a little fancy with the ball and, whoop-de-doo is what I call it. That play there is what Dylan needs to continue to, pick a point, go to that point. If it gets blocked, so be it. But you're going to have a higher percentage chance of having a foul called in your favor because you're playing strong. And a lot of times, especially at the next level, the referees see you moving that ball. I'm not going to bail them out. I'm not going to give them a free throw.
Surprise you that Mount Zion has pushed the tempo a little bit more than maybe you might have thought early on? They not that they haven't been patient on offense, but they have pushed the ball a little bit.
And watched them play a few years ago, but this team here, I mean, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot, I think, with just not holding on to the ball. I mean, they had, some pretty good looks at the basket. They got some shots off, but when you start having, 10, 15 turnovers in the first half, you drastically decrease your chances of, putting points on the board. And some of those have led to offensive points for us. So one turnover is a 4-point swing, and we're up by 16 right now, and they got 10 of those, right? So
we saw Coach in the first half. If you folks have been watching, we saw Coach in the first half go as to what you would call it surgical sets. It was more of the sets that he runs than just the freewheeling, I call it motion offense that he runs out front. That surprise you any?
A little bit, but you saw that pack line. I mean, you got to, we call it probing, right? Okay, what are they doing out there? And they really packed it in. I personally thought that if they kept on moving the ball, they could have got some of that baseline drive, but there was no penetration coming in from the top down. And so that baseline drive could have been up. But you noticed, and the reason I said that is because I thought when they were 3 or 4 passes away on the backside, they were kind of hugging their guys over there, and they were stopping penetration from the top, so it left that baseline penetration open. So what Coach actually recognized is like, hey, we can slide some guys in there to the post and get ISOs down there, or Brody with his little hook shot. They tried Landon one time. They tried Brody a couple times. I'm not for sure if he understood what play was being called by the look on his face. But, and then you go to Old Faithful, Dylan, who can play point guard and, posting them up as a 5-man out there like Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, we've got a minute and 24 left on the clock. Let's send it back to the station for a 1-minute commercial timeout. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball on WLCN FM 96.3. Chicago Street Rentals to bring you the opening possession of the second half, as there is no tip-off during this COVID-restricted year. 7:55 to go here at Mount Zion. Into Hollinger, still in the sets. Back out front to Polis, Singleton, Hollinger, Singleton, 15-footer in the lane. Good. Dylan Singleton just beyond the free throw line nails it. 33-14 the Lincoln lead, and give the Bulldogs 13 on the evening. Mount Zion still in the backcourt. Adams across the high to Roberts. Hemrick in the corner. Hemrick back out front to Roberts. Roberts to Sean High. High looks. Looked like he might have drugged the pivot foot. No call. Back out front to Hemrick. Hemrick to Sean High. Dylan Roberts on the left side. Back out front, Sean High. Matthias Adams. Heinrich. Railers playing good defense right now. Mount Zion being patient. Down 19. Cross court to High. Back out front, Matthias Adams. Posting Reed McNeil in the lane. Ball thrown away, nearly thrown away, and Polis could have had a steal right there. Hemrick kicks it back out front. Roberts inside to Hemrick. Hemrick down the lane, throws it up, and got to roll. Hemrick with the two-pointer. It's 33-16, the Lincoln lead. Singleton, Grunder, Hollinger, Singleton. Polis going to take it down the lane. Kicks it, Hollinger, baseline three. Oh, no, around and out. Off the backboard to Reed McNeil. Reed McNeil to Hemrick. Hemrick, Matthias Adams. Adams, Sean High. High Dylan Roberts to Sean High. High in the corner, Hemrick. Hemrick, Dylan Roberts. Roberts, baseline, McNeil trapped. Sean High, wide open three out of the left wing. No good, back of the iron. Matthias Adams kicks the ball out to Roberts. High gets it again, going to try and take it in the lane. And the call is going to be a foul. Looks like he might have walked a little bit there, Coach.
Got Landon with that call there. That'd be his first. And I think we, if I'm keeping my stats right, walked away with maybe only one foul there in the first half.
I think you're correct. Sean High with the shooting foul. First one up and good. That'll make it 33-17, the Lincoln lead. Again, you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball on WLCN 96.3 FM, the sports voice of Lincoln, Logan County, and Central Illinois. As High hits it rolled off the front of the iron. Hollinger the rebound. Here comes Dylan. Dylan pushing the ball in the corner. Grunder kicks it back out. Hollinger, Whiteman. Whiteman already around to the left baseline. Singleton on the left baseline, kicks it back out. Hollinger, Whiteman, Polis drives it in the lane. Back out Singleton.
Looks like we're going to a set here and clear out for Dylan.
There it is, and Dylan going to take it down, lays it up, and got the contact, no call, lays it up and in, and that'll be 15 for Dylan Singleton on the evening. 35-17, Lincoln lead. Matthias Adams still in the backcourt. Now across to Hemrick. Hemrick nearly had it stolen by Singleton. Hemrick will put up the 10-footer. Up, no good, ball on the floor. Polis the rebound.
Good job by Elijah there, getting active down low.
Singleton to Grunder, to Hollinger. Corner Singleton. Back out Hollinger. Polis between the circles. And now the Railers go into the weave. Whiteman, Singleton, Polis, corner Grunder. Three on the way. No, front of the iron. Rebound to Reed McNeil of Mount Zion. And Mount Zion on the run. They push the ball up the floor. Grunder and Whiteman both stir up the ball. In the corner, Roberts to three. No, and rebound. Adam Grunder will pull it down. And thought he might have had it saved, but he stepped on the end line. It'll go back to Mount Zion.
Good effort there by Adam, and even smarter of him to throw the ball at the other end and not underneath the basket.
And we have an official's timeout on the floor. Let's go ahead and keep it right here. Coach Raylor's playing pretty well to start second half.
Not too bad. Up on him 4-3 here, and missed that free throw there, but I thought we moved the ball pretty well offensively down here in our first few possessions. You said that ball got to the corner real quick, and they did a nice job, and they're doing a great job of spacing here too offensively.
Again, Dylan Singleton with 15, Landon Hollinger 15. 15 of our 30 of our 35 points, but we got other people in the scorebook. Adam Grunder's in the scorebook.
Yep, Adam
Brody's in the scorebook.
Brody with 2.
It looks like even with the defense that they're playing here, when I watched our last couple of offensive sets, I think there might end up being some driving lanes we can get to in there and maybe get to the basket or draw some fouls.
Yeah, I think the baseline for us is going to be open. They've done a pretty good job. We got into that weave. It got a little helter-skelter for Mount Zion there and keeping up with us, but they were still able to close those gaps. And they've really loaded their defense to stop that top-down penetration. So I'll think you'll continue to see some of these baseline drives or even some post-up opportunities for our guys with some of the sets they were running earlier. I
was going to say, it'd be interesting to see if Coach goes back to those sets or stays with his motion. Lincoln breaks from the huddle with Coach Al. Up 35-17, 4:42 to go here in quarter number 3. Mount Zion breaks from Coach Shuri. And Mount Zion will have the basketball under their own basket, actually about 10 feet on the baseline. And they get it inside to number 24, Gilman. Gilman to DiTomaso. Matthias Adams trying to post up inside, nothing there. Hemrick out front. DiTomaso throws the ball to Adams. Dangerous pass. Hemrick out front. DiTomaso is going to take the three off the left wing, short, and rebound Singleton. Mount Zion gets back in a hurry. Had 3 guys already back on defense, and now they're set on defense as Lincoln sets their offense.
Looks like they're supposed to be in a set out here, and not everybody was on the same page.
I was going to say, it looked a little confused out there, didn't it? And Dylan recognized it and reset the offense. Hollinger posting inside, out to Singleton. Singleton, Polis, corner Hollinger. Hollinger, Polis.
Looks like they're going to get into the set now.
There's Polis. There's Hollinger free throw line. Looks for the back cutter. Goes inbound into Whiteman. Whiteman nearly tackled. Hollinger the basketball. Grunder around his man will take a 15-footer in the lane. Back of the iron, no good. Rebound, Matthias Adams.
Good pull up by Adam there.
Sean High drives against Polis. Nothing there. Kicks it back out to Adams.
And you saw they went back to that set there. They tried to do that one for Brody. So they've had 3 different post players down there just trying to post him up.
Sean High. DiTomaso out near the volleyball line. Hamrick. Looks like Jack Driscoll may be ready to come into the game for Mount Zion at the scorer's table. Hamrick in the lane. Nice little move. Throws it up. No good. And I think they're going to get Brody on the shooting foul. Foul on Brody Whiteman.
Be number 2.
Second one on a 6'1 junior.
And you know, I mean, what is it? It's almost a 18-point game here. But as I said, you know, I mean, I don't know if we've created those turnovers against Zion, but, you know, there's big swings there, right? You're talking 10 turnovers at least there in the first half. And, you know, I'm sure we capitalized on about 4 or 5 of those.
Hamrick gets the first of 2 free throws. Second one up and good. Gets them both. 35-19. 16 the Lincoln lead. 3 minutes exactly to go in quarter number 3. Singleton brings the ball up. Jaden Klopp in the basketball game. Elijah Polis takes a seat with the Lincoln bench. Looks like Andrew Grau getting ready to come in. Hollinger drives baseline, stopped by 2 defenders. Back out to Whiteman. Whiteman, Hollinger. Hollinger, Grunder to Klopp to Singleton, left wing. Right in front of the Lincoln bench. Singleton looked to drive. Stopped by 2 defenders. Grunder, Singleton. Singleton, Klopp.
Yeah.
Klopp, Hollinger baseline drive, no good, but he's going to draw the contact.
So you see here we had Landon with the clear out over here. They got there on the help side, and Landon again drove baseline, was able to get to the basket that time. Foul on number 20.
Foul on number 20, and that was John Bowman. Let's call him Bowman. That's his first.
And first team foul for them this half. Lincoln sits at 2.
Unusual. Landon missed that free throw. Missed it kind of badly, too, to the left side. Andrew Grau into the basketball game. Adam Grunder taking his seat. The 6'2 junior comes in for the senior. Second one by Landon. Nothing but the bottom of the net. 36-19 the Lincoln lead with 2:27 to go.
Still on the backside of the half court here.
Oh, and a good steal by Whiteman. Whiteman up and got it.
I think that was great balance right there by Brody. Gather his balance to go up strong and hit that layup this time.
Mount Zion still in the backcourt. Cross court pass to Hamrick. Hamrick, the long 3, up no good, and Hollinger goes up skies for the rebound. Rips it down. Here comes Dillon on the run. Singleton down the right side. Was going to kick it to Whiteman. Now does. Whiteman out front. Hollinger to Grau. Grau, and Hamrick's going to get nailed for the foul, trying to reach in from behind. So with 1:48 to go here, that'll be the second team foul on Mount Zion. And I think the first foul on Ethan Hamrick.
Yeah, Dillon, you know, transitioned down here and went to go give a ball handoff to Brody and actually held on to it. And I've thought a lot of times, I try to teach my kids, anytime they're switching screens, you know, in some of the earlier games, you need to get in more of those fake ball. There it is.
Layup time for Singleton. Drove around his man, faked the pass, up and good. 40-19 the Lincoln lead, and gives Singleton 17.
As much as we get in that weave with the handoff, you start to fake that 1 or 2 times in what we call a cover-up situation, bring a 3-point shooter behind, and Dillon does a fake handoff and gets a layup. Good defense there by Andrew Grau on the cross-court pass. Looks like Jalen Conway's going to check into the game here.
And Jalen Conway going to see some action replacing Brody Whiteman. Jalen Conway, the 5'10 junior, comes in the basketball game. Driscoll inbounds the basketball for Mount Zion. Goes in the corner to Cuddy. Cuddy out front, Driscoll. DiTomaso to Cuddy. Cuddy out front, Bowman. Bowman looks to Driscoll. Driscoll to Cuddy. Cuddy out front. DiTomaso. Driscoll in the corner, hounded by 2 Railers. Back out front, DiTomaso. A minute left on the clock. Clock in the red here in the third quarter. Driscoll out front. DiTomaso thought about the three. Kicks it back out front. Driscoll, Cuddy, DiTomaso. Driscoll, Cuddy, the long three. Up and good. The sophomore nails a three off of the right wing with 42 seconds to go. It's 40-22.
Yeah, he looks to be like he's going to be a pretty premier player here in the Apollo next couple years.
Conway, top of the key. Left wing Singleton. Hollinger to Grau. Railers go into a little bit more motion here as Klopp gets it to Conway, holding for the last shot here of the third period. Singleton, DiTomaso all over him out at the half-court line to Conway. And looking for Hollinger at the free throw line. He's covered. In the corner, Klopp. Klopp's going to drive it baseline. Jaden Klopp.
Great move, Jaden.
What a good move by Jaden Klopp. An aggressive move on the baseline. And he drew the contact with 1.8 seconds to go.
Great recognition skills. The play broke down there. Dylan wasn't able to set that down screen and balling it up in Jaden's hand, and he was aggressive. He went to the basket. You like to see that. And I think that's part of the confidence growth the last few games, you know?
Let's see if they run that lob play like they did to land it.
They are.
Yep, there it goes. That couldn't get it to him. Conway the three, up and no good. At the end of three quarters from Mount Zion, it's Lincoln 40 and Mount Zion 22. We'll be back in 1 minute with the fourth quarter.
Go ahead.
Conway, the steal, kicks it to Singleton. Singleton, layup, good. And that's how we start the fourth quarter here for Mount Zion. Lincoln up 20, 42-22. The Bulldog with 19 on the evening, but a great steal by Jalen Conway.
And a great pass. You know, it was a bounce pass and not a shovel pass where it kind of got knocked away.
Mount Zion, Cuddy on the left wing. Conway hounding him. So Singleton looks like he could have drugged the foot there. No call. DiTomaso, Cuddy's going to fire the three up again. No good. Rebound Conway. Had to go between his legs. Picks it up and kicks it out to Hollinger. Hollinger, Conway. Singleton to Cutter. Back out front to Hollinger. Hollinger, Conway. Grau. Singleton to Conway. Here comes Grau. Railers running the weave. Singleton cross-court. Hollinger, three on the way. No, front of the iron. Rebound. Klopp went for it. And I think he's going to get nailed for the foul. Knocking down number 25, Clayton Cuddy.
And that's just Jaden flowing to the ball there and went for it. He tried to hold up, but his momentum just took him through the defender there and picked up a foul.
Don't forget our fine sponsors. Mama's Arcade Cafe, Mike Moskey Auction Service, State Bank of Lincoln, a division of Heartland Bank and Trust. Michelle Bauer, your country financial agent. Top Hat Creamery, stop by after the game for a sweet treat. And Culligan Water Systems in Lincoln. Those some of our fine sponsors here for Lincoln Railer basketball. Cuddy, ball inbounds. Or ball passed in, now kicked back out. DiTomaso out of the corner, a rainbow three. Ball off in the hands of Bowman, and it goes to Lincoln.
Well, he saw 6'4" Landon Hollinger coming at him with an outstretched hand and had to put a little bit more arch on that ball.
That ball just kept going up and up and up.
Yeah.
Hollinger to inbounds the basketball in the backcourt to Singleton. He'll kick it to Landon. And Landon will bring the ball across the timeline. Now to Singleton. Again, Railers running the weave. 4 out, 1 in. Jaden Klopp, the post guy. Here goes Singleton in the lane. Kicks it out Conway. Now to Grau. Now to Hollinger. 6:18 to go. 42-22 the Lincoln lead. Singleton going to drive. Takes the contact from Sean High, now kicks it back out to Hollinger. Out front Conway. Grau. Corner Hollinger into Klopp. Klopp kicks it out to Grau. Grau 3 from the top of the key. Goal!
There we go.
Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer for the junior Andrew Grau. Put him in the scorebook. And we're up 45-22. 5:53 to go in the basketball game.
Great shot by Andrew. And, I'm just watching Jaden. Great pass by Jaden, little inside out. I know Coach talks about that ball going inside out, and it was good to see that happen. I just see Jaden moving with more confidence down there in the post. Just his gait, the way he's carrying himself.
In the corner, Bowman threw the ball away. Here comes Singleton, stepped in the passing lane. Singleton 2-on-2 to Conway. Good pass. Conway up, no good. Ball batted around. Had the 6'6" Cuddy on him. Here comes Cuddy, the sophomore, down the lane against Hollinger. Up, no good. Ball flying all over the place. Now on the floor. Now it's still on the floor, and it's kicked out of there, and here comes Singleton. Singleton on the run, takes it against Sean Hyde. Several contacts, and finally I think he's going to get the call, and it's going to be a 2-shot foul.
Good strength by Dylan there going up. That guy was draped over his arm. He still was able to get the shot off, and that play right there is a perfect example. It started with a loose ball at the basket and ended up getting popped out at the top of the key there.
Well, they called that foul on John Bowman, his second.
What number was that?
Number 20, John Bowman. They called it his second. Singleton missed the first of 2 free throws. Dylan at the line. Second one up and good. Give him 20 on the evening. Matthias Adams into the basketball game. Dylan Roberts back in the basketball game. Reed McNeil about ready to come back in for Mount Zion. So Coach Schuring not afraid to go to his bench. And Cuddy goes down the lane. The 6'6" sophomore took it right at the basket. Got his own rebound. Kicks it back out into Matthias Adams. Matthias Adams hard against Hofert. And I think Hofert may get nailed for the foul here. Let's see. Alan Hofert going to get nailed for the foul. Alex Hofert getting nailed for the foul. His first.
Nice strong move there, too, by the Adams kid.
Let's send it back to the station. We're at the mask media timeout here under the 5-minute mark. Let's send it back to the station for 30 seconds. Jay Hardin and Kirk Whiteman back here at Mount Zion Fieldhouse, where the Lincoln Railsplitters up 46-22 on the Mount Zion Braves with 4:57 to go here in the basketball game. Remind you that our streaming live video sponsors are financial advisor Sal Polis of Edward Jones, 1400 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. It's phone 732-4001. Town & Country Bank, a proud sponsor of Lincoln Raider basketball at Town & Country Bank. Our mission is to help empower the financial well-being of our communities, one person at a time. Arnold Greemy Insurance, located at 321 Pulaski Street in downtown Lincoln. Phone 735-1296, your local independent insurance agency. J.M. Abbott & Associates, offering tax, accounting, and business advertising service. Abbott's is conveniently located in downtown Lincoln. You can contact them or go to jmabbott.com. And, of course, every Railer three-pointer sponsored happily by Chris Coyne State Farm Insurance. Matthias Adams headed to the free throw line. Alex Hofert with the foul. Matthias Adams misses the first of 2. So Coach Dylan Singleton getting an early rest here with 4:57 to go. That might be the earliest he's been taken out of a ball game this year.
Yeah, save those legs. We got just a couple more games this week.
Just a few. Adams misses them both. It's still 46-22. Landon Hollinger remains in the game with 16 points on the scoreboard. Dylan went out with 20. Conway runs the point now. Right side to Grau, out front Hollinger. Hollinger, Drake Rutledge in the basketball game, number 5 for Lincoln. Conway, Grau, cross-court Rutledge. And ball on the floor. And with the jump ball, it's going to stay Lincoln. So Coach getting to look at some of the future for next year. Grau into Rutledge. Out front Conway, Hollinger. Hollinger, Hofert in front of the Lincoln bench. Back out front Rutledge to Conway. Hollinger, Hofert, Grau going to drive it down the lane, kicks it to Hofert, Rutledge going to drive in the lane. There's some contact there, and
get a little jump ball tie up.
The jump ball,
goes back to Mount Zion.
I thought he was going to signal 1 in bonus there for a second. It was like we weren't in the bonus. So jump ball goes to Mount Zion. Matthias Adams to inbounds. Adams, Hemrick to Adams to High to Roberts, quickly across the timeline. Hemrick, kick it across to Sean High with the long three-pointer, got it.
Yeah, that was a good spot, good skip pass there.
46-25, the Lincoln lead with 3:56 to go here in the basketball game. And the ball stolen away. Here comes Dylan Roberts, layup time good, and Grau committed the foul. So it's going to be the and 1. Andrew Grau with the foul. That is his first. Dylan Roberts with the bucket.
Got a chance at an and 1 here, huh?
Missed it back of the iron. Rebound, Matthias Adams goes up against Hofert, lays it up and in. So that's a 4-point play on their end. And it's 46-29 with 3:38 to go here in the fourth quarter. Hollinger, Grau, Railers run the weave out front. Conway looked a little shake and bake, didn't take the drive in the lane. To Rutledge, Hofert, and Hofert's going to be fouled by Ethan Hamrick, and I believe that will be his second foul. Coach, if you come in as a reserve, you may not have to score a bunch of points, but you certainly don't want to let them cut into the lead.
Right, and we talked about that happened to Mount Zion there in the first half. Why we were able to get our lead is they turn the ball over. Just don't turn the ball over.
Oh, and Hollinger with the cram. Landon Hollinger drives baseline, slams it home for his 18th point. It's 48-29.
There's some excitement there down the stretch.
High, the basketball to Hamrick. Hamrick throws it up. No good. Ball around and out. Rebound to Alex Hofert. Hofert to Conway. To Hollinger. To Rutledge. Drake Rutledge. Out front to Grau. To Conway. Conway hounded by Sean High. Both teams with 5 fouls. Drake Rutledge kicks it out to Landon Hollinger. Hofert between the circles to Hollinger. 2:32 to go in the basketball game. Lincoln up 48-29. Rutledge takes the drive, goes in the corner. Hollinger, baseline fake the drive, kicks it back out to Grau. Ball stolen away. Here comes Hamrick with the layup. Rutledge after him, and Rutledge is going to get called for the foul as Hamrick lays it up and in. And it'll be 48-31 with Hamrick going to the line for the and 1.
Well, Jay, we talked about not making mistakes, and you don't want to compound that by giving them and 1s, and that's the second one. So a little bit frustrating. And here's the other thing, too, is, some of these kids may perceive this as mop-up time and, it really doesn't matter. But you know what? In the coach's eyes, it matters because you want to gain their trust. Can the coach trust you to come into the game and make the right decisions? And we talk about small windows of opportunity. If you haven't been playing a lot, this is your opportunity to show something to the coach.
Well, and the other thing, too, is, Coach, this. The guy on the sidelines, he's coaching till the final buzzer. He doesn't care what the score is. And we're going to get called for a double dribble and another turnover. And you're right. This is an opportunity. I mean, whether it's mop-up time or not, this is an opportunity to get out there and get some action and show what you can do. 48-32, the Lincoln lead. 2:07 to go in a basketball game. And Mount Zion throws the basketball away against the Lincoln press.
And those things, I mean, it's all about your perception and how do you look at it. We're going to win the game anyways. But we always want, because coaches, we want people that are always competing.
Hollinger to Conway. Conway going to take it down the lane, kicks it to ground. 3 on the way. No, back to the iron. Rebound, Holford. And are they going to call Alex for the push, or are they going to call Mount Zion? It looks like it's going to go against Alex Holford on the push.
Yeah, that's a tough one on Alex. I think he was just there and went to go up. And, 6'4", going over a 6-foot guy usually isn't a foul if you're not draped over his shoulders, which Alex was certainly not.
Sean High still in the backcourt to Bowman, and ball knocked away by Grau. Grau's got people. Layup time coming. No good. Bowman the block, and Conway will get the rebound. Conway out front Hollinger. Minute 40 to go in a basketball game. Rutledge kicks it left wing. Grau, Holford, Hollinger. Conway going to take the 3. And good! Another Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer. Jalen Conway knocks down the 3. 51-32. Mount Zion quickly up the floor. Sean High over to DiTomaso. Roberts. DiTomaso, the long 3, a 25-footer, up, no good. Back of the backboard, and Hollinger brings the rebound down. Conway quickly ahead to Grau. Grau back to Hollinger. To Conway, another 3 on the way. No good. Back of the iron. Ball rebounded by Roberts of Mount Zion to DiTomaso.
What's ComNet call those? Heat check? Heat check time?
In the corner to Sean High. Clock in the red. Under a minute to go in this basketball game. Ball thrown away in the lane. Good defense by Lincoln. Knocked away.
Looks like we're getting a substitution timeout. And, I thought maybe the sponsors can get the heat check, sponsored by Josh Comnick. That might be another one we can get for him there. We got the pregame and get one during the game.
Jaden Klopp in the game, and the senior Landon Hollinger are going to take a seat.
And Landon ends up with, is it 19?
I believe that's the case. Jaden Klopp out front. 40 seconds to go in a basketball game. Rutledge to Klopp. Klopp. And right in the passing lane was DiTomaso going to take it up. Klopp nearly blocked it. DiTomaso with a nice left-handed layup. 51-34. Conway the basketball. Out to Holford. Holford out near the volleyball line. Back to Conway. Conway Grau. Rutledge nearly lost it in the backcourt to Klopp, and it looks like the Raiders may be content to run the clock out here. As the clock expires. And the final score, Lincoln 51, Mount Zion 34. And that is win number 879 for Coach Neil Alexander. We're going to send it back to the station for a 2-minute timeout and come back with the Grau Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic post-game show. It'll be a happy bus ride home for the gentlemen in red and green as they win 51-34 on the road over the Mount Zion Braves. Go to 15-4 on the year, 9-4 in the Apollo Conference. And my broadcast partner, Kirk Whiteman, do you have the scoring ready to go, sir? Or do you need another minute?
Nope, we're good to go. We'll start with Mount Zion here, and Ethan Hamrick leads all scores with Mount Zion with 8 points, and then moving on to Dylan Roberts had 7 points, and Sean High with number 23 here, he had 6 points, as well as number 23, which is, that's Sean High, but who else is here? We got, got a little discombobulated here on the score. Carson Cuddy, the sophomore, coming off the bench and nailing a 3 for 3 points. And then number 25, which was
Cuddy, wasn't it? Wasn't that
Cuddy.
The Cuddy kid?
And then number 12, the Aiden Dematasso with another 3. So wraps up their score for 34 points, it looks like. And then for the Lincoln Railers, we had Dylan Singleton with 20 points, Landon Hollinger with 19 points, followed by Brody Whiteman with 4 points, and rounding out the scoring were Adam Grunder with 3, Jalen Conway with 3, and Andrew Grau with 3.
I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and send it back to the station for a 1-minute timeout. Maybe by that time, Coach will start making his way up here for the post-game comments from Coach Neil Alexander. Win 8-79 in the books tonight. Let's send it back to the station for a 1-minute timeout. Jay Hardin, Kirk Whiteman back here at Mount Zion Fieldhouse, where the Railsplitters won tonight 51-34 over the Mount Zion Braves. Coach, good basketball game, good defense played by the Railsplitters. Pretty good defense to start out with by Mount Zion, playing that type of pack line defense and forced us into going into some straight sets, which really seemed to alter that pack line defense.
Yeah, it did, and I think the halftime score was 31-14. But it took us a while, and it wasn't to the second part of that first quarter where we broke away. And obviously, Landon Hollinger that first quarter had a fall away 3, and they ended up fouling him, so we picked up 3 points right there. As the game wore on, though, we did it defensively, and you can look at Mount Zion's record, and over the last couple of years, they haven't won a lot of games. But I will tell you, this team here, they continue to compete throughout the game, as we saw in the fourth quarter where they outscored us by 2 points. But, these kids, it's just little things for them. And in regards, I think they turned the ball over a little bit too much in the first half, and we were able to capitalize on that. And, you talk about a culture of winning. Lincoln has that. Mount Zion hasn't. So kind of hard to for them to kind of capitalize on some things and build momentum, and where we were able to tonight. So, and obviously, with Dylan Singleton out there and Landon Hollinger, our 2 seniors, leading the way for us.
We talked during the game about the last quarter and the reserves not wanting to let them cut into the lead. That's something that usually aggravates the big guy over on the sidelines, is not being able to maintain the lead that's already been established. But something I think we and Raider Nation needs to remember is these kids not only have limited playing time in games, but the practice time has been limited too. So there's a very limited window to work with them, gain the confidence that they need, and without that practice time, basically it's, hey, go out there and show me what you can do in a game.
Yeah, and that's a really good point you make there, Jay, because they haven't had the opportunity to have practice to run some through these plays, and you got a lot of new juniors up here, and I think it's important for, you go back to what we talked about earlier. When you do get your time, it's important to gain the trust of the coach. And how do you do that? Number one, you always play hard when you step out on the floor. But number two, you value the basketball. And, that's one thing. If you're making bad passes, you put yourself in bad situations because you're being aggressive, a coach can look at it and it's like, at least he's being aggressive. But, nonchalant passes and making a bad play and not running back on defense, those are some things that are going to get you where the coach loses trust.
And there's a real learning experience for those kids that were in it at the end of the game, because they were playing against most of the starters for Mount Zion. So they're playing against juniors and seniors, being out there as maybe sophomores and juniors, and getting that type of experience of having to go against bigger, quicker, more experienced kids.
Exactly.
Well, I see coaches ambling up here. He got his Thornton's big gulp tonight. I was concerned about that.
Yeah. He'll find a way.
Yeah, I thought maybe we were going to have to stop and bring him a Thornton's big gulp. The last game we did up at Normal, he couldn't get one. He had to have a bottle of Diet Coke. Can you hear us okay, sir?
Yep, I gotcha.
51-34. Nice win for your Railsplitters tonight. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we played. We played, and what they were giving us, we would take, and they pretty much allowed us to get pressure on them in the corner, so we were able to force some turnovers from the corner and get some runouts, and our defense was able to score a little bit tonight.
They started out packing it, the pack line-like defense. They started out in that, and then you went to some of your, as Kirk called them, surgical sets, and that seemed to
Dr. Alexander.
kind of pick apart that pack line defense they were trying to run.
Well, we can attack you different ways. We'd rather not use our sets, but we were able to find some open shots through them and get some back doors and be able to find them. And we got a couple post ups with Brody and Dylan down there, and when you get some matchups like that, you try to take advantage of them. And we also kind of messed up a couple of them, so we were trying to get them again, and you get one guy that doesn't run his part. It just totally destroys every set that you're doing. So kids got to be on the same page, and that's why we spend a lot of time at them.
We saw that out there on one of the plays after a timeout, and a little discombobulated with one player being out of there. But, your guys have done a great job. They got into a little motion and they went right back to it. But from a coaching perspective, I thought they did a great job of taking away the penetration from the top down and your weave. Thought the baseline was open. But what did you recognize from the standpoint of, hey, let's get some post-up opportunities? I haven't seen a whole lot of that this year.
No, we haven't. But, we were a little more. We had a little bit of a lead for one thing, and we could try some different things. And Dylan can post.
Oh, we talked about that.
And we just got to be able to get it to him. But they do a nice job with that pack line. They get that lane pretty well clogged up, and but we were able to get it to him, and we got it to Brody, and I think Brody can post pretty well. So. He's one that we messed up at the other end down there. He messed up on one. Yep. So, but overall, it was a good win for our guys, and we got some kids that are pretty tired, and we'll try to get through this week to where they can move on to next week, and hopefully they can stay focused the next 4 or 5 days, and let's get through this, and then they can move on to the next sport.
I'd like to show some big kids some video of Dylan posting down here, because I like to. Well, hey, he spreads himself out well. His footwork is very good, and he's also feeling where the guy is on his hip. And when
you use that bottom for eyes.
Well,
and,
yes.
And Dylan does it pretty good, and you make your contact, then you can control that defender, and Dylan's pretty good at it. He's pretty solid.
You run out there and stick your behind in somebody, you're going to have some type of position on him somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, and then he's got moves to take care of it once he gets it. So.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is not only being in position, but being in position to do something once you catch the ball.
Yeah, you got to be able to finish it or it's useless. So, that's a strength that he's got, and we probably should have used it a little bit more than what we have. But, he's pretty good at getting into the paint and himself without us calling any sense.
You were able to get him out with about, remark to Kirk, it was about the earliest I think he's come out of a ball game so far this year, taking him out the 5-minute mark, getting him some rest. Landon came out, and you were able to get some reserves in the basketball game and see what they could do the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, they got in. They did okay. They turned it over a few times. They hit some shots, and I thought defensively they done pretty well. They sealed the seams, and I guess the negative part is a couple of the turnovers. We fouled them on 3-point plays when we didn't need to, and we stopped the clock, and they were scoring 3 at a time. So we've got to, those are kids that are going to be looking at next year.
You have Porta tomorrow night. Know much about them at this point in time?
We don't. This is one year that we didn't even watch film on Mount Zion. We've watched maybe 20 minutes of film all year, and when you play like we are, and everybody's in the same boat, so you worry about what you're doing, and hopefully you can take care of yourself and execute your game plan. And if you can do that, then you'll take care of business. So that's basically what we're trying to get done.
I'm curious, without divulging any trade secrets, you and I talked earlier off air, and you had talked about that kids were having to learn as you drew things on the board. So they were having to learn things in the huddle. So what have the coaches learned from this year that maybe you haven't done in the past? Maybe you've learned something and said, hey, we can do this, or we can try this because we've had to use it now.
Yeah, well, we've learned that we got to have practice on the floor to be able to execute. And it's hard for kids to understand what you're trying to get done on a board, and and if you don't have the board set in exactly the same way the court is, you have trouble too. So you can't turn it around and draw it at the other end when you're at this end. So, but that's what's fun about the whole thing, trying to get them to be able to do something. And for the most part, they do okay.
Well, Coach, we want to congratulate you. Win number 879 for you in the books, just now 2 behind Steve Gore's. And I know over your career, those wins didn't come alone. You've had a lot of very good players, a lot of very good teams that have won those 879 games.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good kids, and the program, and the kids have kept it going. That was my goal when I came here. When I was 34, 35 years old, and you take a look at it, and when you come, basically I was scared taking over a program that's had Hall of Fame coaches in it and everything. And one of the things that I definitely told myself is I have to maintain what they've built here, and I think we've done that. And and it's been fun. I've had great coaches. We have a great staff right now. Over the course of the 30 years that I've been here, I haven't had many assistant coaches. The coaching staff has been solid, and that's one of the keys that we've had. We've had very knowledgeable guys that could basically be head coaches elsewhere. And, we just keep building on that. And, as I grow older, I kind of deflect some of the responsibility to the guys, and I think that's one of the reasons they get to coach. They do a lot of the coaching, and I think that's how you build it. I only wish I knew what I know now about 30 years ago.
Don't we all?
Yeah. About how to do things and let other people do some coaching and so forth. And it's my name's on it, but there's a bunch of guys that have been by my side throughout the years that have really, really been a very important part of it. And then Kurt will tell you, if you don't have players, it's hard to win basketball games. And we've had kids that have been committed and done what they've had to do, and we've had some great athletes through the years. So And we've got a lot of work to do here in the next, between now and next year. But I'm confident that the kids will do that.
Well, Coach, Kirk and I talked. You scheduled 23 games this year. It looks like you're going to, cross our fingers, you're going to get them all in. And
well, we really scheduled 23 games thinking that we would lose some
right.
of them. That's the reason. But our kids have done a great job of doing what they've had to do. And, I would like to think that they're being smart about what they're doing because you can't get through a year like we have without. And this will go down as, one of the unbelievable years. And from starting last year when they called off the season till we get our gym full again. And I think they're moving in that direction right now with some of the things that are opening up. And hopefully by next November that we'll have Railer Nation back in the stands and our fans there to support these kids.
Well, Coach, we're going to let you go ahead and get on the bus with the kids and get on the road. Try and get a little rest yourself. Although I see with the new 20% capacity at football games, are you going to be out there under the lights marking the seats off out at Hanlon Field?
Well, I don't know. We marked them off in the gym, and the tape didn't stay one game. So I don't know what we're going to do. But it is 20%, and we're kind of working on a plan right now. Here in the next, we've got a conference meeting tomorrow morning. I got to come back over here in the morning, and we got a conference meeting with the ADs to kind of solve that problem, to see what everybody's going to do to try to be consistent as we have been.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the victory tonight. You moved to 15-4 overall. This is going to be, when we look back on this, there were some difficulties, but I think this is just going to be a special year that we were able to get on court and the kids were able to come out and perform the way they did.
Well, it'll be a year that we won't forget.
That's true.
And one last thing I would like to say is, last Saturday we had the cancellation of the sophomore game at Normal West. And what we're going to do, I got an email this morning from Porta that they have a freshman game, so they're kind of short sophomores, so they want to only play a half tomorrow. So at 5 o'clock, the sophomores are going to play Normal West, and at 6:30 they're going to play Porta a half a game, and then the varsity will follow. So we're going to pick up that sophomore game that they lost on Saturday.
And we will have the varsity game on action, but people can watch the sophomore game and that half freshman game on the school's YouTube channel, right?
Well, it's all sophomore.
Oh, it's all sophomore.
It's
okay.
all sophomore. The Porta has a freshman game and taking some of their players, and it's a conference game. So everybody's scheduled and pretty thin, and at this time of year, you're just trying to get through it. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. So again, 5 o'clock, the sophomores will start, and they'll start with Normal West, a full game, and then Porta for a half a game, and then the varsity will follow.
Thanks, Coach, for that update. We'll let you get out of here. Thanks, Coach, for joining us. Neil Alexander on the postgame show. Kirk, good win for the Railsplitters tonight. We moved to 15-4, but this season's not close to being done yet. We've got 4 more games yet.
Just wanted to tell Coach, too, I'm glad I was able to donate a couple wins in my playing career to your record-setting coaching career, too. So, congratulations, and look forward to seeing these Railers play down the stretch and close out the season.
See, you remembered the wins, but he remembered the losses. That's the difference right there.
That's exactly right.
Hey, let's go ahead and wrap it up here from Mount Zion. Thanks to Coach for joining us on the postgame show. Lincoln wins it tonight, 51-34. That'll wrap it up for my broadcast partner, Kirk Whiteman, tonight. Glad you joined us again, pal. For our on-site engineer, producer, writer, director, Lloyd Kirby. For Winnie Ransdale, our engineer back at the studio. For station manager, Jim Ash. For all of our sponsors, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, and we know Railer Nation enjoyed the outcome. We're back in action on the air tomorrow night. As you heard, Coach, you can catch that sophomore game starting at 5 o'clock on the school's YouTube channel. We'll be on the air probably around 7 o'clock sometime tomorrow night with Lincoln against Petersburg Porta. We'll also be on the air on Thursday night with the girls from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. The boys play Friday night at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, and the boys will have that doubleheader, that unique doubleheader on Saturday up at Bloomington Central Catholic against Central Catholic Saints and Peoria Quest Academy. We ask that you patronize our sponsors for allowing us to bring you Lincoln Raider basketball here on WLCN FM 96.3 from Mount Zion, Illinois. This is Jay Hardin saying good night and thanks for listening. Let's send it back to the classic rock experience, the Nighttime Fix 96.